जय जिनेन्द्र। मंगलमय मंगल करण वीतराग विज्ञान नमो ताहि जाते भये अरिहंतादि महान करि मंगल करि हो महा ग्रंथ करन को काज जाते मिले समाज सब पावे निज पद राज। So we'll continue our study of Moksha Marg Prakashak by Pandit Pravar Acharya Kalp Pandit Todarmal ji. We were on to page number 244. The heading of the topic was Denial of Worshipping Kshetrapal, Padmavati, etc. So the whole of the chapter 6 is about false god, false preceptor and false religion. Okay. And initially we discussed about peripatetic devas, Vyantar devas. You know, literally the meaning of the word peripatetic means a wanderer, a nomad. But here it is used in the sense of Vyantar Dev. Okay. So there are four kinds of celestial beings, and Vyantar is one of among them. Then we have Bhavanvasi, residential's god. Then we have stellars, Jyotisi Dev, and the last one is Vaimanik Dev. Okay. So uh, continuing with that discussion only, we have come to the discussion of uh, denial of worshipping Kshetrapal and Padmavati. Now these two, as we have in story in Parman Yoga, that these two were there at the time of Lord Parshvanath Swami, and the story is like that they saved the life of Parshvanath when he was being inflicted pain by Kamat. Okay, but that was not the case. Parshvanath was well protected by himself, and of course they had this thought in mind that how we can help Parshvanath Swami, but they never helped. That is the fact. So because of that, they are being worshipped everywhere uh, in the Jain temples. But if you want to know the truth, they are not supposed to be worshipped like the Tirthankars. Okay, they are just a celestial beings, and the worshipness comes only when you have attained uh, passionless signs of discrimination. Okay, but these are lower category kind of gods, celestial beings, so they are not to be worshipped. That is the truth. But somehow, because of the tradition, because of the uh, tradition that has come on for long, people do worship Kshetrapal, Padmavati, but again that is a cause of inauspicious bondage. Okay, so we'll begin this topic about Kshetrapal and Padmavati today, and then we move on to the next topic, that is the characteristics of the false guru. Okay, so first we'll start with this. Rajeshri ji, you can read this one. You have the textbook with you?
No, sir, I don't have. I forgot to take a printout.
Oh, we are into now 5th sem, and we have already studied first, second, third, fourth
Yeah.
chapter. So you managed without book only?
Not book. We were taking a printout, no, sir, from PDF.
Acha, acha. So you were taking chapter wise only?
Chapter wise, we were doing the PDF, sir.
Okay,
Because
okay.
Hindi book I've got, but
Okay.
English book was PDF.
Okay, okay,
So
okay. Fine,
I
fine.
just missed out. I was a little bit busy. So
Okay.
tomorrow I'll take a printout.
No
Yeah.
problem, no problem.
Yeah.
So I will only read now. Chaitanya Prakashji, you won't read, right? Chaitanya Prakashji never comes on class live. So he's just listening anyway, we don't mind. So I will read only. Someone may say here that no fault lies in worshipping the Kshetrapal, Dahari, Padmavati, etc. So these are the different names of celestial gods, uh, gods and goddesses, Yaksha, Yakshini, etc. Because all of them follow Jainism. They were the devotees of Tirthankars, that is true, but that does not make them to be worshipable. Okay. Answer. In Jina's religion, worshipability is acquired by accepting and following the continence, vows, austerities, etc. संयम संयम धारण करने वाले को ही पूज्यपना होता है. So because these are the gods or celestial beings are in the fourth stage, maybe they can go up to fourth stage only, they cannot go beyond fourth stage, so they don't have any kind of renunciation in their life, any kind of austerities in their life, so they are not worshipable. But continence is not at all found in devas, celestial beings, not a single kind of devas, and people worship these by believing them as true believers. But in Bhavantrikas, residential, peripatetic, and stellars, three kinds of celestial beings, there is no prominence of possessing right belief. There is no prominence means most of them are wrong believer only. Okay. Very few are right believer. So that is not prominent. So when it is not prominent, how we can worship just people like celestial beings? If people worship these devas, presuming them to possess right belief, then why not to worship the gods of Sarvat Siddhi, heaven, and Lokantik devas of fifth heaven, who certainly possesses right belief? So these two categories of celestial being possesses right belief, but they are still not worshipped because they don't have austerities in their life. They have not taken vows, any kind of vows. Okay. So they have not manifested uh, partial conduct also. Okay. So they are not worshipable. You may further say these Kshetrapal, Padmavati, etc. are excessively engrossed in Jina's adoration. But Saudharmindra also indulges in Jina's adoration excessively and also possesses true belief. Then why then to worship these by ignoring him? So when we are not even worshipping the Indra, who is a right believer and who has also got adoration excessively of Tirthankars, and we don't worship the Indra also, then why we should worship Kshetrapal and Padmavati? Further, if you will say, as the king has chamberlains, chamberlains means the Dwarpal, security guard, as attendants, so also the Tirthankars have Kshetrapals as attendants. This is the argument given uh, by the seeker. Okay. But in Samotsaran, preaching area of omniscient Lord, these Kshetrapal etc. have no status. Okay. Hence, all such belief is false. They are not responsible for making us appointment or contact with Tirthankar. They never do that. So all these are false beliefs. Moreover, as the chamberlains help the visitors in meeting the king, similarly these Kshetrapals do not have any role in arranging meeting with the Tirthankars. In the case of Tirthankar, whosoever has the desire to worship, he can have his darshan sighting. There is no question of dependence on any one. So that does not help in that function also. So they are not worshipable.
So, one question, sir.
Mhm.
Do you think because there are no murtis of Indra Bhagwan that people are not worshipping Indra Bhagwan? And these murtis are there of Padmati Devi and Kshetrapal. Is the cause? I don't know, but I'm just asking.
Yeah, that could be the cause. But
Hmm.
why the uh, pratimas or the statues of Kshetrapal and Padmavati is there in the first place? Why it is there?
Because the story goes that they helped
Ah,
God. That is
ah,
the main thing. So
ah.
people have started believing. But they know Indras also do Abhishek and help God. But I don't think so there's any murti of any Indra. So I
Because
think so
because
people have,
Indra are also not worshipable, and
yeah.
Kshetrapal and Padmavati are also not worshipable. They are simply celestial beings. On the contrary, Indra is a right believer, and he is going to get liberated in the next birth itself. Still, he is not being worshipped just because they don't have austerities in their life. They don't have Sanyam. Okay. So, Pujyapana is only possible when there is a Sanyam, when you have renounced something. Okay. So, that is not possible in the case of all the celestial beings because they don't go beyond fourth stage. Okay. It is the fourth stage that they can achieve at most.
Even Indra Bhagwan
Yeah,
on
even
the fourth
Indra is
stage.
also in the fourth stage.
Okay.
Uh, and see the height of ignorance. Those who have fearful form possessed with sword, spear, etc. arms are being worshipped by singing and dancing. Okay. So who is worshipping those people? The non-Jains, the non-Jains. Like Durga Mata have some uh,
Fears.
Trishul, and
Yeah.
some Shiv Bhagwan has Trishul, and some other gods have some other kinds of weapons. Okay. They are being worshipped by singing and dancing. It is a pity that even in Jainism, the fearful form has become worshipable. Okay. So that's why, because of ignorance, this Padmavati and uh, Kshetrapal are being worshipped. But that is not the right thing. So these two become similar to other non-Jain faiths. Belief in such contrary practices is possible in Jaina's religion only under the influence of the rise of intense delusion. Okay. So under the influence of intense delusion, these sort of things happen. Now people, if you go to a Bispanti temple, they offer fruits. They offer fruits to the god. They do Panchamrat Abhishek with milk and all, you know. So uh, many blemishes have come up because of ignorance, and we can't help it. The majority of the people are ignorant. Okay. This Swadhyaya is very rare. People are not ready to study and understand these things. They are only interested in just um, adoring and worshipping the god by doing abhishek, by giving donations, by taking vows and all. Okay. Nobody is interested in understanding the nature of soul, the nature of things. Okay. So so that's why people are ready to worship this kind of celestial beings. So these two become similar to other non-Jain, but in such contrary practices is possible in Jaina's religion only under the influence of the rise of intense delusion. In this way, worshipping of Kshetrapals, etc., also is not worthwhile. Further, animals like cows, snakes, etc., are clearly found to be inferior to human beings. They are to be disparaged. Disparaged means they are to be discarded. Their culpable condition is clearly seen. And trees, fire, water, etc., are the immobile, one sensed being. Those are clearly found inferior than the animals. Okay. And weapons, inkpot, etc., are inanimate object. Those things clearly appear to be destitute of all sorts of power. In no way worshipability can be thought in them. Therefore, worshipping of all these things is a great fallacy, wrong belief. Okay. Nothing seems to be achievable directly or indirectly by worshipping all these things. Therefore, it is useless to worship them.
So there's
Therefore, huh,
that. the people who do that people ka, that milk and that Surya Bhagwan ko they give water, all that is false.
False, false, false.
But
All
we
that
don't
is
follow that. The
no.
Hindus do
Yeah,
that.
it is Hindus.
Yeah.
Mostly the
Mm.
Hindus do it. But
Mm.
like if your neighbor is a Hindu and he believes in those things, and supposing you are undergoing through some problem, and then he will suggest you go there and do this and your things will work out. And he does that. And coincidentally, things have worked out. So that belief becomes strong. And they also started following them. In Bombay, there is a church in Bandra. Every Sunday, around 50,000 people go to pray there. Okay. And there is a story that whoever comes here and prays and ask for any wish, that wish gets fulfilled very soon. And because of that belief, around 50,000 people go there every week. And out of those 50,000, around 70% are Jains.
Oh.
Now, what you will say? So, people are ready to bow their head anywhere, any place. They don't have the analytical skill whether these gods are true or not, whether our purpose, what is our purpose in life. They are not aware of anything. They are just
Because
living a
chamatkar
materialistic
ko,
life. Yeah.
chamatkar ko namaskar, that's what it's happening,
Yes,
sir.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
So getting into this kind of study is very rare, you know. Even believing in true God is still possible, but believing in true God and then indulging in this kind of studies is very, very rare. And not only studying, but understanding it and actually putting it into your day-to-day life, it's all a different thing altogether. So we cannot expect that everyone will do this, but at least there is a beginning, and uh, there could be a beginning, and then as you understand more, your faith changes, and you have then firm conviction about the principles of Jainism, what we have studied. Therefore, from all angles, believing and worshipping of all kinds of false deities, gods, and goddesses is forbidden. Now, the next paragraph. Behold, the power of false belief. So, it should be the glory of false belief. Now, this word glory is being used in Moksha Marg Prakasak at 5 places. Initially, it was in page number 27 in English. Then page number 130 in English. These two we have already covered. This is the third one. Behold the glory of false belief. Mithyatva ki mahima, moh ki mahima. False belief is moh ki mahima. And the fourth one will be in page 370, and the fifth one will be page 407. Everywhere the word glory is being used. Glory means mahima. So in page number 27, it was what it was. Let me see. Glory of his misfortune. Page 27 is glory of his misfortune in the first paragraph itself. Then page number 130. Page number 130, it is there. Yeah, in the second paragraph, Moh ki Mahima, heading is glory of delusion. Then we have this third one, the glory of false belief. Then the fourth one, page number 370, there it is. Last paragraph, the glory of reflection on tattvas, tattva vichar ki mahima. Okay. And the last one is on page number 407. 400, it is glory of the true belief. Okay. Glory of the true belief, first paragraph, third line from the last. Okay, page 407. So these are the 5 instances where Todermalji has used the word glory. Okay, by saying the glory, it is just highlighting the actual thing that we should give attention to. Behold, the glory of false belief. In public life, it is considered censorable and below dignity to bow to persons lower in status than ourselves. Whereas under the influence of delusion, censorability is not felt even in worshipping the pieces of stone. You know, many people worship on the pieces of stone. So this is the problem. And in public life, people are found serving and attending only those persons from whom they expect their purpose being fulfilled. But due to fallacious belief, how will my purpose be accomplished by worshipping the false deities? Without such thinking, the people worship the false deities. Okay. So people don't have the capacity to think and contemplate and arrive at a decision what is true and what is false. And because of their indecision power, they are worshipping the false deities. And while adoring the false deities, thousands of impediments occur, but one does not pay attention to them. And if due to the rise of auspicious karma, the desired objective is fulfilled, then he says and believes that this achievement is the result of adoring false deities. We were discussing this point just now, that somebody told you to adore this and you adore that false deities, and then your things work out and you believe that he has done it, and your belief becomes now more stronger, and in that scenario you are not able to have right faith, and believe in this Jainism theory. Moreover, if some objective is fulfilled without their adoration, he does not pay any attention to it. But if something undesirable takes place, then he says that this undesirable has happened because of not worshipping the false deities. So basically, people by and large worship false deities for safety, for their securities, because they feel all the time insecure and they want all the time money to be them with them. They want all the time sensual pleasures, and they feel that the sensual pleasures can be achieved by means of money. And so to earn more money, they get into this kind of wrongful advice and wrongful belief. And while adoring the false deities, thousands of impediments occur. Okay, now this was done. He does not think even this much, that if benefiting and harming anybody be in the hands of these false deities, then those who worship them would achieve the desirable, and those who do not worship will achieve the undesirable. But this does not seem to be happening so. For example, even the sons of those persons who adores excessively are found to be dying, while in the case of others, sons, etc., are found living without such adoration. So there is no guarantee that if you adore false gods, your thing will get solved. It is not so. And even if you don't adore false gods, nothing wrong will happen to you. Now you need to have this conviction. And by and large, when this kind of things come up in their life, all people are uh, ready to deviate from the path and adopt wrong practices. Because we have these past impressions with us, and the environment that we live, that also influences us. So we are not able to take the right decision. Therefore, believing and adoring of Sheetals, an imaginary goddess, is not at all purposeful. In the same way, believing and adoring of all other kinds of false deities, gods and goddesses, is not at all useful. Now, an interesting part is coming up, which I discussed in the first class itself. that why in this chapter, Todermalji has written so much about false gods and false preceptor and false religion. Why so much in detail? So there is the question, and we read it once and we are going to read it again. Here someone may say, let it not be useful, but by believing and adoring them, no harm is caused. You understood the question? Let it not be useful. Like we proved that adoring all other kinds of false gods and goddesses is not at all useful. So then he puts a counter argument that let it not be useful, but by believing and adoring them, no harm is caused. That is the question. Answer. If there be no harm, Totalmalji is replying, if there be no harm, then why should we forbid? Why should we forbid that you don't pray to false gods? Why we should forbid? But firstly, due to fostering of false belief. Now this is very important. When we believe in false god, we are fostering our false belief. So we are going far away from the right belief, right? So but firstly, due to fostering of false belief, the right path of liberation becomes remote and inaccessible. This is the first loss. This is a big harm. And secondly, owing to the bondage of inauspicious karmas, miseries are caused in future. This is another harm. Okay. So getting into worship of false god is futile. It doesn't serve our purpose in any way. On the contrary, we go far away from right belief. And the second loss is that we bind inauspicious karma and we experience miseries when it comes into rise or fruition. Further, someone asked that the false belief, etc., dispositions are caused by belief in false tattvas. Tattvas means fundamental elements. And the bondage of inauspicious karmas takes place by indulging in evil deeds, vicious acts. Therefore, how would false belief, etc., and the bondage of inauspicious karmas be caused by believing in them? Okay. So he is taking up that question again and he is elaborating it. Answer. Firstly, it is a fallacy to believe other objects to be agreeable and non-agreeable. There is nothing in this universe which is agreeable or non-agreeable. इष्ट अनिष्ट कुछ है ही नहीं. पदार्थ है, पदार्थ तो पदार्थ है. आपके लिए जो इष्ट है दूसरे के लिए अनिष्ट है. तो पदार्थ itself is not agreeable or non-agreeable because no substance is friend or foe of anybody. And whatever agreeable, non-agreeable substances are found associated with this jiv are caused by the rise of auspicious, inauspicious karma respectively. Therefore, one should act in a manner by which bondage of auspicious karmas occur and the bondage of inauspicious karma do not occur. Okay. One may not have conviction even of the rise of one's own karmas and may make effort of getting and avoiding the association of external causes of agreeable and disagreeable objects. But by believing and adoring the false deities, the instinct of considering objects agreeable, non-agreeable is not removed. It rather gets intensified. Due to that, even the bondage of punya is not caused, and instead bondage of inauspicious karma takes place. Moreover, false deities are not seen giving or snatching from someone the wealth, etc. Therefore, they are not even the external causes. Why then are they adored? That is the question. There are three reasons given here. First one, when one is extremely puzzled and is in utter confusion. Okay. Where even a trace of belief and knowledge about jiva, etc., essential tattvas, fundamental elements, is not found. Okay. So that is the second cause. And the third, attachment, aversion, feeling exist in vehement state. Vehement state means intense state. Then those things which are not the cause are believed to be the cause of agreeable and non-agreeable condition. Then, in such state of mind, one starts believing and adoring the false deities. So when do you go and adore and worship false deities? First of all, when you are extremely puzzled and in utter confusion. Okay. When your willpower is weak, okay, then only we fall prey to this kind of false gods. Okay. Where even a trace of belief and knowledge about Jeev, etc., essential principles is not found. And the third, attachment, aversion, feeling exist in vehement state, intense state. Then those things which are not the cause are believed to be the cause of agreeable and non-agreeable condition. In short, when you are under the influence of delusion, you get involved in false gods, false preceptor, and false religion. Then in such a state of mind, one starts believing and adoring the false deities. Okay. We had a very healthy discussion last week about this, so I don't want to elaborate it right now. Now we are moving on to the next topic, characteristics of false preceptor and denial of faith, etc. in them. Faith, etc. means faith, knowledge, conduct. Okay. So characteristics of false preceptor. Preceptor is a guru, monk. Those jivas, those souls who are found indulging in irreligious activities of satisfying sensual pleasures. Irreligious activities of satisfying sensual pleasures. And number two, believing themselves to be religious persons under the influence of pride passion. Number three, induce others to offer salutation, etc. to them by believing them religious persons or by practicing some part of religious ritual. Wish to be called highly religious persons, force others to observe all the manners befitting to a big religious person. In this way, under the shelter of religion, they pursued others to believe them as superior persons. All such persons are to be known as false preceptors, because in religious tradition, after relinquishment of sensual pleasures and passions, one should adopt such status which is in conformity with the actual stage of religion. Okay. So it should be in conformity with the actual stage of religion where you are in right now. Now the next topic, negation of preceptorship from caste or family point of view. Okay. So there are 5 points in this whole topic. First one, there are many people who believe themselves to be preceptors by inheritance, caste and tradition. Inheritance, caste and tradition. Okay. So they believe themselves to be preceptors, whereas in reality they are not the preceptors. Among them are Brahmanas, etc., who maintain that because our caste is high, so we are preceptors of all. Among them are Brahmins, etc., who maintain that because our caste is high, so we are preceptors of all. But the greatness of caste lies in practicing religion, virtuous conduct in life. If someone born in high caste indulges in disgraceful conduct, then how can he be treated high? Okay. So one does not become of high caste because of the birth, but because of your deed, you are considered at high caste or low caste. If birth in high caste to be the criteria of high status, then even people eating meat, etc., would have to be treated as high. But this is not maintainable or sustainable. In the book Bharat, also many kinds of Brahmans are described. Therein it is said, the one born in Brahmana caste performs the acts of a Chandal, sinful person, call him a Chandal Brahman. If greatness is decided by caste only, then why is such low name given herein? Okay. Further in Vaishnav's scriptures, it is stated that Ved Vyas, etc., are born from fish, etc. How did there remain the sequence of caste or family? And original creation, they say, is from the Brahma, from the Brahma. Hence, everybody's caste is one. Where lies the caste difference? Moreover, the progeny is taking place on copulation to a woman of high caste with the man of a low caste, and to a woman of low caste with the man of high caste. How did there remain the authenticity of caste or family? Now, what is this progeny? Progeny. Hmm.
It means coming from an cattle or something, giving, coming from the descendant of some animal or a plant. Progeny.
Uh,
The ancestors are some animal or something. That's what the English Oxford Dictionary says.
Where is the word progeny? I lost the word. I was just seeing the, moreover, the progeny is taking place on copulation. Okay. I think progeny means copulation. No?
Nee, ancestors, it's right. Descendant.
Acha, descendant. Okay.
Descendant.
Okay. Okay. Moreover, the progeny is seen taking place on copulation to women of high caste with the men of low caste. How did there remain the authenticity of caste or family?
पिछले जन्म में they must have been from high caste or this thing, and this janam they're lower caste. So it's a descendant of that.
Okay, okay, okay. Yes.
It's written ऊंच कुल की स्त्री के नीच कुल के पुरुष से और नीच कुल के स्त्री के ऊंच कुल के पुरुष से संगम होने से संतति होनी दिखी जाती है.
Right. Perhaps you might say, if it is so, then why do you believe in the division of high caste, high and low castes? In the worldly affairs, contrary practices are possible. But in religious affairs, contrary practices are not acceptable. Hence, in religious tradition, greatness or preceptorship is not possible on the basis of caste. Preceptorship or greatness is attained only by following religious conduct. The greatness of the caste of Brahmins, etc., is due to religious practice, virtuous conduct. How would greatness or preceptorship remain there? By giving up virtuous conduct and indulging in sinful acts like injury, etc. So the getting up of high caste, greatness in getting born in a high caste is because of their religious activities. Okay. But if they give up that religious activity and behave in sinful manner, then the greatness does not remain. Further, some people say that our ancestors have been great devotees, siddhas, the possessors of extraordinary talents and highly religious. And since we are born in their progeny, therefore, descendants, as you said, descendant. Therefore, we are the preceptors. Okay. So, you cannot make somebody a guru just because of the progeny.
Caste.
Yeah, progeny, the caste. But the elders of those ancestors or forefathers were not spiritually so great. Therefore, if in their lineage people are believed to be great by their noble deeds, then in the lineage of those noble person, he who does not perform noble deeds, how should be treated as noble person? Okay. So we cannot go according to the caste tradition. As per scriptures and in actual life, it is well known that the father may attain high status by doing pious deeds, whereas the son gets low status by indulging in impious acts. The father may achieve low status due to impious acts, but the son attains high status by pious deeds. It is therefore not correct to believe someone great only because of being born in the lineage of noble persons. Okay. A person becomes great because by his deeds and not by the lineage of persons in which he is born. Thus, it should be known that it is a fallacy to believe someone to be a preceptor because he belongs to high caste. So this was all the first point. Now second point. Second of the fifth point. Further, some people believe preceptorship to be a matter of succession. Earlier, there might have been some great person, and in his succession, a tradition of disciples is found. In them, if some disciple does not possess the qualities of a noble person, even then he is treated as a preceptor. If this be logical, then in that tradition, some disciple might indulge in the great sinful act of sexual copulation with others' wife, etc., then he also will become the pious person and will attain the heavenly life. But this is not possible. Moreover, if he is a sinner, then how can he be treated the rightful occupier of the seat? The one who performs the acts worthy of a preceptorship only can be a preceptor. Okay. So preceptors cannot be appointed through caste or through succession. First point and second point. Now third point. And many people earlier were the abdicators of the woman, coition, etc. Later on, so and many people were the abdicators of the woman, coition, etc. Means they never got married to a woman, and later on they become debauched and householders by getting married. Okay. And later on they become debauched. Debauched means they become corrupt. Okay. So how can a corrupt could be a preceptor? Okay. But after debauchery, corruption, how is preceptorship possible? So these two are similar to other householders. The only speciality in them is that they become householder after debauchery. How can these be accepted as preceptor guru by the person who basically are found following householders' religion? So a preceptor has to be a naked monk. A person who stays in house cannot be a preceptor. Okay. So this was the third point. Now fourth point. Further, many people are found indulging in all kinds of sinful act, but do not marry, and because of this so-called pious practice, believe themselves to be the preceptor. Only not getting married, they themselves believe to be a preceptor. But the unchastity alone is not a sin. Injury, okay, violence, attachment, and hoarding, parigrah, etc., are also sins. Okay. How people indulging in such act could be treated as religious preceptors. Moreover, he has not given up marriage, etc., with religious intent, but he does not marry either for getting some means of livelihood or due to ignominy. Had he any religious instincts, then why should he indulge in increasingly injurious acts? And one who does not have religious attitude cannot be firm in chastity, and he does not marry, then he indulges in the great sin of sexual copulation with others' wife, etc. So this kind of moral people cannot be made a immoral people cannot be made a preceptor. Hence, people who believe persons found involved in the aforesaid sinful acts as preceptors are highly misguided and intellectually bankrupt. Now the last point, 5a. 5th point has got 2 points in between, 5a and 5b. So first 5a. And many people consider such person as preceptors who put on a particular attire. Attire means dress, okay? Like, big gown or some dhoti or some other kinds of attire. But by assuming a particular dress, what type of religion is evolved, due to which he should be considered a religious preceptor? Someone wears cap, some keeps gudari, patched quilt, some others put on a chola gown, A few keep their body covered by long cloth sheet. Some wear red clothes, some white clothes, some wear bhagwa, saffron colored cloth. A few put on Hessian clothes. Some others put on deer skin, while others rub their body with ash, etc. In this way, different disguises are adopted by them. But if cold, heat, etc. could not be endured and lacked confidence in remaining nude, then why did he forsake the commonly worn clothes, such as pagdi, turban, jama, shirt, etc.? Leaving the common attire, why did they indulge in aforesaid disguises? And what aspect of religion is accomplished? Nothing. All these disguises are assumed merely to cheat the householders. If they keep their robe like that of a common householder, how could then the householder be cheated? Their objective is to earn livelihood, acquire wealth, and fulfill pride, passions, etc. by adopting such disguises. That is why they put on such disguises. The ignorant people get cheated by seeing such person in different disguises and believe that he has followed religion. But this is fallacy. The same is stated in Updesha Siddhant Ratnamala as under. As some fellow fond of strumpet feels pleasure even on losing his money. As some fellow fond of strumpet. Strumpet means those who are uh,
Praise themselves. Those
no,
who praise themselves. Trumpet is blow your trumpet, sir. That you want to praise yourself.
no, I think strumpet, according to the Hindi word, it is Vaishya Sakt, those who visits prostitutes. As some fellow fond of strumpet feels pleasure even on losing his money. Similarly, some persons being cheated by false sanctimony do not realize that their religious wealth is being destroyed. Okay? So they don't realize that the religious wealth is being destroyed. Okay? The gist is by attending on and adoring such false disguised persons, one's religious wealth gets destroyed. But alas, the people instead of feeling distressed feel happy owing to false belief. Okay? Some people assume those disguises which are described in false scriptures, but with the perverse intention of establishing their tradition and increasing the number of their followers, the sinful writers of those scriptures have preached in them simple rituals for obtaining higher spiritual status. Okay? So, to cheat people, the writers of those scriptures, they have preached in their simple rituals for obtaining higher spiritual status. The thoughtless jivas, ignorant people, ignorant of their tradition, do not even ponder or think over the fact that there is some deception because they preach obtaining high spiritual status through simple rituals. Rather, move thoughtlessly in the path shown by them. By and large, people are not interested in following religion, so they just want to follow the tradition that has been there in the family. Okay, and they have a fear in themselves that if we don't believe in these people, false god, some bad things may happen to us. So in order to protect themselves from those kind of things, they do worship this false god. Now 5b. Further, they believe that the tough path suggested in some other Shastra scriptures will be difficult to follow, and people cannot be convinced without keeping high name. With this intention, they keep high names like Yati, Muni, Acharya, Upadhyay, Sadhu, Bhattarak, Sannyasi, Yogi, Tapasvi, Nagna, etc., but are not able to follow the rituals prescribed for these various spiritual ranks. Okay. Although they name themselves by this Acharya, Muni, Yati, but they don't follow the rituals prescribed for these ranks. Therefore, they assume different disguises according to their free will, and many of them keep new names and adopt various disguises according to their own will. In this way, they believe preceptorship by assuming different disguises. So, this is false. So, here the 5B point ends. Now, we are coming on to the conclusion, but before that, there is a question. One may ask here, various types of disguises are found. How could one be able to distinguish as to which is right and which is wrong? Okay. There are lots of false gods around. So it is very difficult to distinguish between a right and wrong god. Answer. Only those outward appearances in which there is not the slightest trace of attachment and passions are the true ascetic garbs. Okay. So a true monk has manifested passionlessness. Okay. There is not a slightest trace of attachment and passions. Those true ascetic garbs are of three types. Rest all are false sanctimonies. The same is described by Sri Kunkund Acharya in Shat Pahud. Darshan Pahud, verse number 18. One ascetic grab is that of possessionless naked monk. Okay. The Nigranth Digambar Muni. So we only accept three types. Okay. Three types of ascetic garbs. What are these three? First is possessionless naked monk. The second one is that of the householder of the highest status of Shravak. Okay. So Muni Maharaj, Shravak, that is a votary belonging to the order of 10th and 11th Pratimas or Wo. Okay. So 10th and 11th Pratima holder. Okay. That is a Shravak. And the third one is that of a Jain nun, Arjika, woman monk called Arjika as per Digambar scripture. Thus, these three ascetic grabs are only to be revered, and no further ascetic grabs is associated with right belief. Okay. So, whom we can consider as a preceptor? Only three. The monk, Digambar monk, and the highest status of Shravak, that is 9th and 10th, 10th and 11th Pratima holder. Okay. And the third one is a woman monk called Arjika. These are the three posts or ranks in Jainism which are to be respected. The gist of above is that the one who believes adorable any other posture except these three postures or garb is not a true but a false believer. Moreover, among these disguisers, many of the disguisers observe some religious rituals for the sake of inducing people to adore their postures. As for example, someone desirous of making current a counterfeit rupee coin also mixes some silver in it. Similarly, these disguisers proclaim themselves to be possessing high status by practicing part of religious rituals. Okay. So they are not the true preceptor. but they want to become a preceptor, okay, by practicing part of religious rituals. Here someone says, again a question, some appropriate food will be reaped by whatever religions one has followed. Answer. As someone having accepted the vow of upvasa, observing complete fast, eats even a particle of food, then he is a sinner. And if by taking the vow of ekashana, taking pure meal only once in a day, takes some quantity of food even, then he is a religious person. Similarly, if someone by assuming high spiritual status violates it even slightly, is a great sinner. Okay. So once you assume any post or any spiritual status, it is better that you first practice the kind of activities uh, that are accepted in that rank. Okay. And if you are not able to do that, you are a great sinner. And if by accepting the vow of lower spiritual status, practices even some part of religion, then he is a religious person. Hence, one should practice religion according to one's capacity. No fault lies in this, but if someone proclaiming oneself to be possessing high spiritual status indulges in mean practice, then he is assuredly a great sinner. The same is described in Shart Paud by Kunkund Acharya, Sutra Paud, verse number 18, that is, the bodily posture of a true saint, Muni, is found to be always naked, just like the naked state of a child at his birth. It is said about the monk that how is a monk? The monk is just like a newly born child. Okay? Because he is also naked and monk is also naked. He is also innocent and simple. The monk is also innocent and simple. That's why he is being compared with a newly born child. He does not accept the slightest material possession. But if a saint accepts even the slightest material possession, he assuredly goes to Nigod, the lowermost one state of downfall of Jiva's existence, where one dies and rebirths 18 times per respiration of time. Let it be known that in the householder status is someone keeping a lot of possession, makes some limitation with a vow not to increase it any further. Then also he deserves the right of attaining the heaven and subsequently liberation. But by adopting a monk status, if one keeps the slightest possession, even then he attains Nigod state. Hence, keeping big name and practicing lower order of conduct is not correct. It is to be known that in Hundasprini Aeon, the present running time is Kali Kal. In Jina's religion, the characteristics of a monk are such that there should be no attachment with either external or internal possessions. He should keep engrossed in the self soul with the feeling of I-ness in it, and should keep himself detached from pious and impious thoughts and dispositions. But now, due to dawn of this bad time, that is fifth era, the people who are passionate and fond of sensual pleasures accept monkhood by taking the vow of forsaking all sorts of injury and adopting the five great vows, Mahavrat. But such persons in monk's disguise are found wearing white or saffron colored clothes and have become voracious of food, etc., making efforts of increasing their tradition, Many of them keep money, also commit injury, and indulge in various unbecoming acts. But the consequence of accepting even the slightest possession is described to be nigodha. Therefore, it is certain that the consequence of such inful acts would assuredly be unending transmigration. Okay? So, if you have initiated into monkhood and if you keep even a slightest string of a cloth, you are still going to nigodh. That is for sure. So we should be very careful and be aware what are the conditions in a monk's life and follow accordingly. If something is not possible, then remain a householder. Don't become a monk. But if you become a monk, and then your conduct should be of that category. Otherwise, don't become a monk, remain a householder. See the ignorance of the people. If someone breaks even a small vow, he is called a sinner. But one who breaks such a great vow, he is believed to be the guru, preceptor, and revered as a monk. In the scripture, it is stated that one who performs an act gets it performed or praises the performer. In all these three states, the same consequence results. So, one who performs the act himself, the second one who gets it performed or performed by others, and the third is praises the performer. Okay, applauds the performer. In all the three states, the same consequence results. So if you are not able to do, you get it done from others. If you are not able to get it done from others, then just applaud what is being done by others, and you will get similar fruits with what the um, other fellow has done. Hmm. If someone breaks even a small vow, he is called a sinner. But one who breaks such a great vow is believed to be guru, preceptor, and revered as a monk. In the scripture, it is stated that one who performs an act gets it performed or praises the performer. Krit, Karit, Anumodna. All bears the equal type of fruit. Okay. So if we are not able to do something, we should always pray to do that thing. And if someone is already doing it, we should applaud his or her efforts. The prescribed sequence of accepting monkhood is that one should first of all obtain the knowledge of true tattvas, the fundamental elements. Thereafter, should develop apathy towards sensual pleasures and acquire power of enduring the afflictions, etc. After all this, he should himself express the desire of becoming a monk, and then the Acharya, head of monks' congregation, should confer monkhood on him as per rules. Hmm. So, first, who wants to become a monk? First, we should understand the scriptures. He should take a decision on the 7 fundamental elements. And once that correct knowledge about the fundamental elements is there, you can attempt for attaining, for initiating into monkhood. It is a pity to see this contrariness that conferring of monkhood on sensual and passionate persons through deception and greed has become prevalent. Later on, such persons are encouraged to follow wrong conduct. So, this is a great injustice. Thus ends the negation of false perceptors and their adoration. Now starts the evidence from Shastra in reinforcement of the aforesaid description. So now we are going to refer different scriptures, what is written about this false god, false preceptor and false religion. Particularly now we are in the midst of discussing only uh, false false preceptor in terms of uh, false preceptor. Okay, what are the wrong beliefs that people have? That is being discussed on the basis of what acharyas have written in their book. So there are in total, I think, many references. So we will start with that. Due to bad times, the preceptors, gurus have become matri minstrels. They accept gift and donation by praising the donors in the words of a minstrel. So in this stressful era, Dukkha Kal, both the donor and the recipient are to be drowned in the ocean of worldly transmigration. Okay. It is further stated there, if after seeing a snake, somebody runs away from it, people do not say anything to him. But alas, behold to him who quits the company of snake like false preceptor, the ignorant ones call him wicked and speak ill of him. So even this type of false preceptor are considered very harmful for all of us. Because by the bite of the snake, you will die only once. But if you indulge yourself in a false preceptor, you uh, will have infinite deaths. Okay. So never get involved in a false preceptor. That is the takeaway. Therefore, O judicious person, it is better to keep company with a snake, but never adore or keep company with a false preceptor. So you see, indulging in a false preceptor has its own problem. Okay. So that's why Todarmalji is clearing the nature of a false god, false preceptor, and false religion. And with this, our time is also over. So we are ending here. Just read once only. You will have, if you have any doubts, you can ask me. But it is all related to the false preceptors, this whole discussion. And that is going to still continue. And the Pandit Todamalji is going to give you references from different scriptures, what they have to say about the false preceptor. Okay. Two of the references have already been given, and these are adapted from Updesh Siddhant Ratnamala, verse number 31, 36, and 37. So here we end, and next class, tomorrow we will continue from this page number 254 onwards. Okay. So see you tomorrow. निज निधि निज में बताई, यह अनंत उपकार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना 7 बार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना 7 बार है। 9 बार नौकार मंत्र गिनेंगे। जय जिनेन्द्र।
Jai Jinendra, sir. Thank you.